Now, let's move on to the second example. I think, though, that this essay has a good structure. Yeah, structure-wise, this is a good essay. The first example has a good size. The other students may take a look at this seriously, by the way, because structure-wise, this essay is very well done. This student provided 2 examples, and the length of each example is very good. So let me move on to second example, in which this student talks about Vietnam War. Yeah, Vietnam War. That's a good choice. However, when you talk about the Vietnam War, you need to talk about when the Vietnam War began. How long did the war last? Okay. Of course, many people talk about who was the winner, who was the loser. In this case, North Vietnamese won the war. Yes, that's true. They managed to unite Vietnam as a result of that. And the Americans, for the first time after the World War II, became losers because, Americans are overconfident. They're probably arrogant, right? So obviously, in this war, there were winners and losers. Winners are, in this case, North Vietnamese. Losers, Americans. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just wait. In this case, yes, obviously, there's a winner and there's a loser. But have you ever thought about all different types of wars that took place in human history? World War II. Just think about it. World War II. What happened during the World War II? You know the story. Germans and Japanese lost the war. They're losers. And America and Russia became winners. But what happened after that? We see the result. Right after the war, Americans helped Germans and Japanese to re-establish their country such that, or even in the early 1960s and 70s, Japan and Germany became highly successful, economically prospering countries. Yeah. You come to think about it. What if there was never a Second World War? What happened to the fate of Germany and Japan? Yeah. What could have happened to Russia, by the way? Soviet Union. Okay. Some wars, yeah, definitely have winners and losers, but some wars do not. Yeah. For instance, Korean War. You guys are quite familiar with Korean War, which took place in 1950. Now, obviously, North Koreans invaded South Korea. Who is the winner? There was no winner. Yeah. North and South, supported by, Russia and, China and America, they had to just strike a deal to suspend the war. There was no winner and loser in Korean War. So just because you think of a war, it doesn't mean that in the warfare, there's always a winner and there's always a loser. So hello, there's an exception. So, look, folks, I tell my students all the time, yes, in the beginning, your writing skills matter the most when you try to become a good writer, but eventually your knowledge matters a lot. If you don't think, and if you do not read a lot such that your brain is empty, you won't be able to write an A+ essay. Both matters. Your knowledge, mostly coming from reading, intensive reading, and your writing skills, both matter. And it shows here. Yeah. There are many wars in human history. Yes. And many wars did not have losers and winners. Yeah, they both, actually you might say, hey, both are losers or both are winners in some sense, because they tied, they got tied, okay? Yeah. No losers, no winners. And the way it is written here, it's not clear in what sense exactly was the Vietnam War used to support the answer. Why? Why? Think about it. Obviously, North Vietnamese won the war. Yeah. They ended up becoming the winner of the Vietnam War. But what happened to them afterwards? Did North Vietnamese flourish, prosper? No. What happened to America? Yeah, they became losers at the end of the war. What happened to them? Because they lost the war, the America collapsed? America disappeared from the earth? No. They actually became the superpower and even remained so when in the 1980s, Soviet Union collapsed and America became the sole superpower since the 1980s and 80s and 90s. So in what sense do you think America became a loser? Yeah, did they actually lose everything? Yeah. Did they lose everything? Not really. So basically, yeah, it's a good strategy to use a real concrete example such as a Vietnam War. Good, nice try. Yes, I liked it. However, it was not clear in this essay exactly in what sense the North Vietnamese were winners and the Americans losers. And why do you think that matters so much? Because after the war was over, Vietnam was over, do you think Americans really lost a lot? Not a bit. They flourished. They flourished. They became more bigger, more powerful nation after the Vietnam War. So what the heck? Yeah. If after the war, one country basically just disappeared from the earth, then it makes sense. Yes, it makes sense to talk about real winner and loser. But did that happen to Vietnam War? Nope. So you're going to have to add a lot of explanations to justify your answer here. That's why the strategy is okay, good, but the connection is far from enough.